I do not own Biker Mice from Mars, Initial D, or any of its characters. No money was made from this production. Biker Mice from Mars belongs to Rick Unger, and Initial D belongs to Suichi Shigeno. Biker Mice from Mars, Mountain Drift. Chapter 9, Figuring Things Out. A couple hours later. After Manuel had explained how they had met, along with Throttle's situation, things were a bit calmer, though still clearly tense, even after introductions.
So after your confrontation with Fishman-Alien thing, you managed to fix your ship and were on your way back to Mars when you were shot down?
Ikitani asked, referring to Limburger.
Yep, that about covers it.
Throttle said as he sat in the recliner.
So, where are your other two friends? Did they crash around here too?
Itsuki asked, taking a drink of water from a cup Manuel gave him. I don't think so. Otherwise, I would have found the debris on the satellite maps we looked over last night, Manuel said.
Okay, Takumi said. Where could they have crashed?
That's what I've been trying to figure out since we looked, Manuel answered, looking over the maps on his computer again. So far, I've narrowed the results of the two other crash sites to two areas in the United States, Illinois and Florida.
I don't think the vacation time we have nor your current budget will cover that kind of search radius,
Ikitani said sadly.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for a while either,
Throttle said, pointing at his brace leg.
When I rode my bike down Bogus, I think I jarred something. It now hurts when I stand on it without having to lean on the crutch.
Yeah, I think the vibrations from his motorcycle's engine might have slightly worsened the fracture he has on that leg, Manuel said. I had to help him up the stairs last night when we got back with his motorcycle.
So where is this motorcycle?
Ikitani asked. I put it under a tarp in my garage unit downstairs, Manuel said. I don't use the garage much except for storing and working on the CR-X. Besides, I'm afraid someone might steal it if we left it out in the open.
Well, yeah, either that or whoever shot him down would be looking for it as well,
Itsuki added. I wouldn't be surprised by that, Manuel sighed, then turned to Throttle. Do you have any idea who could have done this to you, Throttle?
To be honest, I have no idea,
Throttle answered, shrugging his shoulders.
Last time I checked, all our enemies were KO'd.
That is strange.
Ikitani scratched his chin.
Manuel, you don't think it's the government, do you? Do they know about Throttle and his two friends?
Manuel shook his head. I doubt it. Otherwise, I'd have a platoon of FBI agents kicking down my front door by now. Thankfully, so far, that hasn't happened.
Well, alright. I just can't figure out who would do something like this. So, on other subjects, what about that race you said you were going to take us to tonight at Bogus?
Well, I'm not sure if I can go with Throttle here, Manuel said. We planned all that out before I found him. I'm sorry, Ikitani, but things have changed, so I'm not sure if tonight is a good idea. He's still having trouble walking, and I'm not sure if the local crowd at Bogus would allow him to blend in too well, if you catch my drift.
Manuel, chill,
Throttle said.
I can walk, and it's not like I'm going anywhere for a while. Don't let me being here affect your plans.
Ikitani scratched his chin, deep in thought.
Manuel does have a point. Maybe Throttle can't blend in with his current outfit, but if we can find something that could fit him, like a hooded jacket or something, that could help him blend in.
Itsuki immediately spat out the water he was drinking.
Are you out of your gourd, Ikitani? How will a hooded jacket help him blend in with all the racers and Bogus. Hey, it works in the movies,
Ikitani argued.
I don't see why it wouldn't work here. If we can just lay his ears flat and cover them, no one will notice or even know the better.
I have no problem with that as long as I don't look completely ridiculous,
Throttle said. Manuel scratched his head for a moment, then went to his closet and got out a black hoodie. Do you think this would do? He asked. Throttle looked at the hoodie for a moment. Then he nodded. It seemed it would be able to suit him enough for a disguise.
Well, I guess that settles that. I just hope it works. Anyways, I can't wait to see you race down Bogus with my own eyes! Oh, Takumi says you're really good!
Itsuki said. First, I don't think I'm that good. Even though I've been driving Bogus for several years, I've only been racing with others for about one. Mainly I drive that route myself to take things to Dad and his diner, Manuel said flatly. Second, I don't know what Akino is like, but here on Bogus there aren't guardrails at every corner to save you. You have to find a strict balance when you go down or up the road, so you really need to watch your line and speed, especially on the downhill.
And third, if we're going to go, we best go now. You said the racing starts at 6 and it's already 5:30,
Takumi pointed out. Manuel was still unsure if he should go or stay home. You sure you're up for this, Throttle?
Yeah, I could use a change of pace for once,
Throttle answered.
Besides, that hoodie will help, like Ikitani said.
With that said, Manuel helped Throttle up and they were out the door. Meanwhile, in Florida. Charlie had tracked down Throttle's position. So far, it was still in the same area near Bogus Basin. Vinnie and Modo were asleep in a semi-truck Jaden was driving. After they got back to Jaden's home, they found out he was a truck driver. He offered to use his big rig to help Charlie transport the bros and their bikes. They had put their bikes in a trailer the semi was towing. Jaden had decided to tag along, saying he had to cover the distance to Idaho and back with his big rig anyway. He had a small shipment of parts to deliver. He was a trucker, but also a mechanic himself, though he specialized in the larger diesel engines, like the one on his semi. He was looking over the truck at the moment, checking on some things, though it had plenty of fuel and had not shown any signs of trouble. They were at a rest stop anyway, and so they were going to bunker down for the night. Charlie yawned, already in some pajamas. She was tired. She got up from the passenger side of the cab, turning off her laptop, and went into the bunks in the back to check on Modo and Vinnie. Modo was asleep. He was out like a light on the upper bunk. Poor guy, Charlie thought. He must be exhausted. She then turned to Vinnie. Vinnie was not sleeping well at all. His head was tossing back and forth on the pillow as he mumbled something in his sleep, gripping the blankets tightly. He's having a nightmare, Charlie thought. She decided to wake him, gently shaking his shoulder. Charlie could feel his fur damp with a cold sweat. Vinnie woke with a gasp. He looked around, seeing Charlie, and sat upright.
Nightmare?
Charlie asked, sitting down and taking Vinnie's hand in hers. It was shaking.
I was alone. I saw Throttle and Modo. They were dying, bleeding out, impaled and burned by debris from the ship. There was nothing I could do. The corpses were talking to me.
Vinnie was starting to cry again. Charlie pulled him into an embrace, comforting him as best she could. She wasn't surprised by the dream. Both of them had a similar one after Charlie found Vinnie at the crash site near Chicago.
It's okay, Vinnie,
Charlie said, soothing him.
We've already found Modo, and we will find Throttle. We will get to the bottom of this, together, all four of us. Throttle is still out there. We just need to find him.
But what if...
Shh.
Charlie placed a finger on Vinnie's mouth, gently hushing him, drawing him closer.
He's still out there. Just keep thinking that he's still out there. We will find him. Now why don't you go try to get some sleep? Don't worry. I'll be right here.
Vinnie did as he was asked, turning over and trying to settle down once more. Charlie got in the bunk parallel to Vinnie and pulled up the sheets as she lay down. They had all been through a big shock, herself included, and it felt calming to be close to him. They eventually found a peaceful, nightmare-free slumber for the night as consciousness faded away to dreams. Jade and Skylark closed the hood to the semi. Everything was in working order, and nothing was wrong with the engine. It looked like it would be good for the entire trip. He was a bit surprised when he got back in the cab to find everyone asleep. He smiled, then propped the driver's seat back, made sure the doors were locked in case any bandits got bright ideas, and faded away into slumber.